Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, Counter Spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
A funny Sunday with episodes of The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, Jack Benny, The Life of Riley, Amos and Andy, with an early show from 1944, and Superman. And when I say early show, well, I'll talk about that in a little bit if I remember. But we thank you for joining us on this Sunday. This is the 27th day of October, 301st day of the year, 65 days left till we get to 2025. Founding of Philadelphia on this date in 1682. 1795, the U.S. and Spain signed the Treaty of Madrid that established the boundaries between the Spanish colonies and the U.S. U.S. annexed the former Spanish colony of West Florida on this date in 1810. In 1838, the Missouri governor Liburn Boggs issued the extermination order. It just ordered the Mormons to leave the state. In 1904, the first New York City subway line opened. The system became the biggest in the U.S. and one of the biggest in the world. 1936, Mrs. Wallis Simpson filed for divorce, which would eventually allow her to marry King Edward VIII of UK, forcing his abdication from the throne. In 1938, DuPont announced its new synthetic polyamide fiber would be called nylon. Debuting on this date on ABC Radio, the comedy quiz program, You Bet Your Life.
And here he is, the one, the only...
Well, here I am again with a chance for each of our couples to win up to $10,000. Congratulations, and thanks for being on the show, You Bet Your Life.
You Bet Your Life is transcribed in Hollywood. Produced by John Goodell. Directed by Robert Dwan and Bernie Smith. Music by Jack Meakin. This is George Fenneman reminding you to tune in again next week, same time, same station, to hear the one, the only Groucho.
Groucho took that simple concept and wrote it for 13 years on radio and TV. Went from, and there you can find a lot of it on television today, I believe. I haven't checked, but given all the fast channels that are out there, you'll probably find it somewhere. 1954, Benjamin O. Davis became the first African-American general in the U.S. Air Force. In 1961, NASA launched the first Saturn I rocket in mission Saturn Apollo 1. In 1964, singers Sonny and Cher got married. Cher wore bell-bottoms. 1962, Major Rudolph Anderson of the Air Force became the only direct human casualty of the Cuban Missile Crisis when his U-2 reconnaissance airplane was shot down in Cuba by a Soviet-supplied SA-2 guideline surface-to-air missile. In 1972, the CBS Evening News with Walter Cronkite delivered 2 segments devoted to the Watergate scandal, making the story nationally known.
The episode grew steadily more sinister, no longer a caper, but the Watergate affair, escalating finally into charges of a high-level campaign of political sabotage and espionage, apparently unparalleled in American history.
As Washington Post executive editor Benjamin Bradley later wrote about the 2 CBS segments in his autobiography, no new ground broken, but the broadcast validated the Post stories in the public's mind and gave us an immense morale boost. Stock markets around the world crashed on this date in 1997 because of fears of a global economic meltdown. The Dow plummeted 554 points to 7161. For the first time, the New York Stock Exchange activated their circuit breakers twice during the day, eventually making the controversial move of closing the exchange early. A gunman opened fire on a Pittsburgh synagogue on this date in 2018, killing 11 and injuring 6, including 4 police officers.
Members of the Tree of Life Synagogue, conducting a peaceful service in their place of worship, were brutally murdered by a gunman targeting them simply because of their faith.
The FBI's Bob Jones, passing away on this date in history. Musician Xavier Cugat, actor Maury Amsterdam, you remember him probably best from his role on the Dick Van Dyke Show. TV announcer Rod Roddy, did a lot of the Goodson Todman shows, including The Price is Right. Lou Reed, singer-songwriter, and Cary Grant's third wife, Betsy Drake, also an actress. They co-starred on the radio program Mr. and Mrs. Blandings, based on Mr. Blandings Builds His Dream House. Birthdays on this date include the wonderful pianist Floyd Kramer. A fun pianist, Floyd Kramer, born on this date, as was inventor Isaac Singer, you know that so-and-so, sewing machine. Also, President Theodore Roosevelt, President 26, born on this date. Etiquette author Emily Post, actor Leif Erikson, probably best remembered for The High Chaparral, but for a period of time he did play Richard on My Friend Irma. Dylan Thomas, the poet, born on this date. Actress Nanette Febvre, actress Ruby Dee, and Watergate co-conspirator H.R. Haldeman, also auto racer Dick Trickle, and from Ghostbusters and Stripes, producer-director Ivan Reitman, all born on this date in history.
Hi, this is Jeff Foxworthy. It is now time for the birthday announcements. The following people are now officially older than dirt.
We remember him best from Monty Python's Flying Circus, although he's done a lot of other work. Actor John Cleese, 85 years old today.
Let's get this thing clear. I quite definitely told you.
No, you did not.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
You didn't.
Did.
The Argument Clinic. John Cleese, 85 today. Singer Lee Greenwood is 82.
Can I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today? 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Lee Greenwood, 82 years old today. Actress, model, sportscaster Jane Kennedy is 76. Duran Duran, Simon Le Bon is 66. Duran Duran, Simon Le Bon, 66 today. President Trump's second wife, Marla Maples, is 61 today. Blogger Matt Drudge is 58. The daughter of Ozzy Osbourne and Sharon Osbourne, Kelly Osbourne, who fancies herself quite the singer, is 40 years old today. Covering Madonna's Papa Don't Preach there, Kelly Osbourne, 40 years old. From the Goldbergs, Troy Gentile is 31. And from General Hospital and the CW's All-American, Samantha Logan, is 28. Those just a few of the people who celebrate the 27th day of October as their birthday. And if this is your birthday,
we baked you a birthday cake. If you get a tummy ache and you moan and groan and woe, don't forget we told you so. Happy birthday! Happy birthday!
Make a wish, dear, and blow out the candles.
Here they go.
we start off 74 years ago, October 24th, 1950, on this Sunday, with an episode of The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet and the Halloween Party. That's up first on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
In case of enemy attack on our country, these two numbers, 640 and 1240, may save your life. They are your Conrad frequencies. Remember, 640 and 1240.
Classic Radio Theater, I'm Wyatt Cox, and now let's go back 74 years, October 27th, 1950. It was always thought that Ozzie and Harriet were the ideal American couple and the ideal American family. And while that may not have always been the case, one thing is very obvious. Ozzie Nelson was a shrewd person when it came to writing his contracts. That show was on the air for, I believe, 16 seasons. When he moved from NBC to ABC, he insisted on a guaranteed 10-year contract. Well, they stayed on a lot longer than that. This episode is from 74 years ago, October 27th, 1950, and the Halloween Party.
Did you know, Harriet, that there are over 320,000 men in the National Guard today?
No, I didn't.
And did you know that every member of the Guard reports for training with his unit at least once a week and receives pay for it?
No, I didn't.
And that they now have an aviation branch called the Air National Guard?
Did you know that dinner is ready and it's time to go to work with our 1847 Rogers Brothers silver plate?
No, I didn't.
And that America's finest silver plate is 1847 Rogers Brothers?
That I did.
America's finest silver plate is 1847 Rogers Brothers. From Hollywood, International Silver Company, creators of 1847 Rogers Brothers Silver Plate, presents The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, starring America's favorite young couple, Ozzie Nelson and Harriet Hilliard.
There's excitement in the air. A mysterious change has taken place in the vicinity of 1847 Rogers Road. Remember the friendly old elm tree in front of the house? Well, it doesn't look friendly anymore. The full moon shining through it, and on one of the bare branches, there's a big black owl. And the old dependable weather vane on top of the garage. Gee, it looks different now. I'm not sure if it's a weather vane or not, the way the shadows fall. Could be a witch on a broomstick. Oh, it's spooky out tonight. In the Nelson kitchen, there's an atmosphere of feverish activity and excited preparations.
What are you looking for, David? We're trying to find some paper bags, big ones. Well, look in the bottom drawer there. There, that's a good one, Ricky. Yeah, but what do I do with the potatoes? No, not that drawer, Ricky, on the other side.
Hey, what's going on out here?
We're getting some paper bags.
Sound like you were taking the kitchen apart.
Halloween, boy. We're going to have fun tonight, Pop.
Yeah, looks plenty spooky out to me.
What do you have there, dear?
Oh, I was just rummaging around upstairs a bit, and I thought the boys might make a costume out of these old work pants.
Gee, Pop, they're pretty dirty. Not only that, dear, they're covered with paint.
Well, what do you expect, Harriet? I wore them when I painted the breakfast nook.
I think you did a better job on the pants than you did on the breakfast nook.
How about you, Ricky? Would you like to be a painter? Will you get your white cap and stick a couple of brushes in your belt?
Golly, Pop, those pants are pretty big.
Oh, I don't know. Let's see how they look on you. Here, step into them. Put your foot in there. Yeah. Now the other foot. Now pull them up.
Oh, that's a wonderful costume. The Headless Painter. Anyhow, Pop, we don't need costumes. We got masks. That's enough.
Well, you suit yourself. We used to wear costumes when I was a kid.
That's just for little kids, Pop. Me and David are going trick or treat.
Trick or treat?
Sure. We ring a guy's doorbell and say trick or treat. If he doesn't give us cookies or something, we let him have it. There you are, dear. That's Halloween, 1948.
Sounds more like Chicago, 1925.
It's a lot of fun, Pop. Didn't you used to do that when you were a kid?
No, David, as I recall, we used to go in more for the real spirit of Halloween. You know, the spooky, scary stuff.
What do you mean, Pop?
Oh, I mean, we'd find some old haunted house and go prowling around looking for ghosts and stuff.
You sure were brave, Pop.
Oh, not necessarily, David.
Pop, did you ever see a ghost?
Oh, I won't say I saw a ghost, but I will say I saw something.
A spook?
I don't know. It was white and shimmering, indistinct. It wavered back and forth. Sometimes it was there, sometimes it wasn't there. White and shimmering.
Did they have television sets then, Pop?
No, Ricky, this was right out in the center of the living room. I'm afraid Halloween's different nowadays. All the wonderful, spooky, hobgoblin atmosphere, that's all changed now. Can't help feeling a little sad when you see the joys of your childhood disappearing in a changing world. Halloween just isn't exciting anymore.
Are you gonna cry, Pop?
No, just the memories coming back.
You sure must have had fun, Pop. Do you think there's really such a thing as a ghost? A real ghost, I mean?
Well, I don't know. In a spooky old house with the moon shining through the broken shutters, you imagine you see some pretty strange things.
I'd sure like to see a ghost. Boy, would I run.
Well, there's the old McAdams house up on the hill. That's a pretty spooky-looking place. I wouldn't be at all surprised if there were a ghost or two lurking around in there.
Do you think we could see one if we went up there, Pop?
It's very possible.
Oh, Ozzie. David, your father's just kidding.
Oh, let the boys have a little fun, Harriet. After all, it's Halloween.
Come on, grab the bags, Ricky. We gotta get going. Hey, wait for me.
Don't you think a lot of the spirit of Halloween has been lost?
Oh, I don't know, dear. The kids seem to have a good time. That's the important thing.
Oh, they pretend to enjoy it, but where's the fun? Trick or treat. Where's the adventure? What danger is there in getting a handful of cookies from Mrs. Dunkel?
You've never eaten Mrs. Dunkel's cookies.
Have we had any callers yet?
Oh, about a dozen of them. You should have seen little Julie Thornberry. She was all dressed up in one of Catherine's old dresses, and she had a stocking on her head.
Really? Oh, I'm sorry I missed it.
And little Georgie Dunkel, he had the cutest clown suit with skeletons sewed on it.
We sure have some cute little kids in this neighborhood.
I'll get it.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me get it. I want to have some fun, too. Yes?
Trick or treat.
Wait a minute. Aren't you a little big to be playing trick or treat?
Trick or treat.
How old are you?
53.
You ever heard of a grown man playing trick or treat?
Well, my little boy's over on the next block. I'm just helping him out.
You don't even have a costume.
What do you think I am, a child? Come on, trick or treat.
It's a little unusual. What happens if I don't give you a treat?
Well, I sneak back later and ring your doorbell.
So what?
And when you answer it, I punch you in the nose. Come on, trick or treat.
Really funny, but here are some cookies.
Only 3?
Well, they've got to go around. There are other children, too, you know.
Okay. Oh, they're chocolates. My kid likes chocolate cookies. Thanks.
Oh, that's all right. How old is your little boy?
25.
One of the kids in the neighborhood, one of the older kids.
Say, would you do me a favor if you're not too busy?
Yeah, what is it?
Would you stop down at the store and get some candies or something? The rate we're going to run out of stuff.
Okay, Hey, what are you doing?
Just putting a couple of cookies in your pocket, in case you got stopped for trick or treat. Some of the boys get pretty rough.
Oh, Harriet, please. You don't think I'm afraid of a bunch of kids?
Well, suit yourself. Last Halloween, Joe Randolph bumped into the backfield of the high school football team and came home minus his trousers.
No kidding. I understand they have a pretty good team this year.
Well, why don't you just take these 4 cookies, just in case?
You better give me 2 more. The ends might be with them. Don't tear my pencil. The cookies were in my pocket. They're very nice cookies. Wonderful cookies.
What's this about, cookies?
Oh, it's you, Thorne. What a corny trick, hiding behind the head.
Oh, just keeping in the spirit of Halloween. You should see what I did to Duck a little while ago.
Did you scare him? What did you do?
I sneaked up on his front porch, rang the doorbell, and ran like the dickens. He didn't know what to think. Then when he went in the house, I went around to the back and started rattling the back door. Oh, boy, was he scared.
What else did you do, Thorny?
Well, I waited a few minutes, and I tapped on the window and moaned like this. And I rattled the door again, and I moaned some more. Then I began pounding on the side of the house.
Yeah. And then what?
Then the police came. That Dunkel just has no sense of humor.
Did the police do anything to you?
No, just told me to stop annoying people. They took my soap away, too.
You're just a big kid at heart, aren't you, Thorny?
That's all in fun, Oz. What's Halloween nowadays? Nothing happens. My boy Will's out playing trick-or-treat.
David and Ricky, too. Somehow Halloween sort of lost the old kick.
Yeah, it sure isn't like it was when we were kids.
You know, there was an old haunted house in our town, and every Halloween us kids used to go prowling through it. Really spooky.
Sure, that's the real spirit of Halloween.
Now, you take the old McAdams place up on Franklin Avenue. There's a perfect haunted house. Is there some way to sneak in there?
You mean you go in there at night?
Oh, sure. Why not?
Oh, no reason. I just never cared for the looks of the place myself. Those grotesque chimneys, staring windows. Sort of gives me the creeps.
Thorny, you're kidding.
No, I'm not, Oz. There's something frightening about it. Especially at night.
What an imagination. Well, I've got to get down to the drugstore. I promised Harriet I'd get some candy and stuff.
Okay, Oz. See you later.
Yeah.
Say, when you go by the McAdams place, don't let the ghosts get you.
Well, that's right. I go right by there, don't I?
Yes, sir. Not afraid, are you, huh?
Oh, Thorny, cut it out. If you walk down the store with me, I'll buy you a soda.
Hey, Mom, Pop, we went over to the McAdams place and we saw a ghost. A real ghost? A ghost, a real ugly one with sharp teeth and a long nose and pointed ears and hair all over his face. And first we thought it was Pop.
That's the nicest thing anybody's ever said about me.
I mean, we thought it was you trying to scare us. Oh, boys, don't be silly.
You guys probably saw the moon shining through the window, and your imagination did the rest.
Okay, go up and see for yourself. Yeah, why don't you, Pop? Yeah, why don't you, Pop?
Well, I'd be glad to, except I take your mother to the movies.
Since when?
Well, that is, I've been thinking about it all day. There's a wonderful triple Halloween show at the Bijou. The Son of Frankenstein, Dracula's Daughter, and A Date with Judy.
I wasn't counting on the movies, dear. In fact, I'd much rather you'd go up and give us a report on the ghost.
Oh, it's so silly.
Go ahead, Pop. Have some fun. Go ahead, dear.
Well, okay. If it makes you happy, I'll go up and visit the haunted house.
Hooray for Daddy. I thought for a minute there you were getting scared, Pop.
Oh, David.
Oh, just remember this, boys. There's not a cowardly bone in your father's body. Of course, every now and then the meat around them gets a little jumpy.
Meet around. What am I laughing at?
You hear it over the back fence, you hear it on the bus. They talk about it at bridge clubs and when they meet on Main Street. What is this topic of conversation? Why, just this. The 4 patterns created by 1847 Rogers Brothers are the loveliest in town. Yep, it's true. The 4 patterns created by 1847 Rogers Brothers are unexcelled. No other silver plate is designed with such imagination, such feeling for detail. And each of the beautiful 1847 patterns is designed with you in mind. Designed to fit your tastes, your scheme of decoration, your dreams. If you like modern, dramatic things, for example, the 1847 pattern for you is Eternally Yours. Eternally Yours is simple and sleek in line, and each piece is crowned with exquisite openwork, even the knives. That's a feature you'll find only in 1847 Rogers Brothers. And in every way, Eternally Yours is proof that the beautiful silverware, which bears the year mark 1847, is the finest in America. So see it tomorrow. Eternally Yours, one of the 4 love patterns created by the one and only 1847 Rogers Brothers. Warning to all ghosts. Beware, Ozzie Nelson will get you if you don't watch out. Yes, indeed. Ozzie Nelson, arch enemy of all ghosts, goblins, spirits, and similar supernatural phenomena, is on the march. Target for tonight. The ghost that walks in the old McAdams house. See the courageous Ozzie as he strides firmly across the porch of 1847 Rogers Road. Chin up, flashlight swinging at his side. Down the steps, down the walk. And now he stops. Every muscle tense, eyes alert, nose twitching. A white, filmy object moves out of the darkness.
Who's there?
It's me, Mr. Nelson.
Oh, hello, Emmy Lou.
I came over to show you my Halloween costume. I'm going to a party. Where are you going, Mr. Nelson?
Oh, I'm on an errand for the boys. They went up to the old McAdams house tonight, and they think they saw a ghost.
Really, Mr. Nelson?
Yeah, I'm going up there, to prove to them it was just their imagination.
You're going in that spooky old house tonight, alone?
Well, of course.
Evidently you haven't heard the story about the McAdams place.
Well, I've heard some silly rumor it's supposed to be haunted or something.
But it is, Mr. Nelson. I heard the whole story from the people who live next door. The story goes that years ago in Scotland, in the old Haggis Castle, the young and beautiful Lady Jane McAdams had a quarrel with her lover, Douglas McDingle McCampbell McTavish. A Scotchman.
Yes, as much.
Well, anyway, Lady Jane pushed her lover, Douglas McDingle McCampbell McTavish, down the stairs. Down, down, down he went, his head banging on each stone step. Thump, thump, crunch, crunch. His bagpipes mournfully playing, the Campbells are coming. As he lay at the bottom of the staircase dying, Douglas McDingle McCampbell McTavish, or as they called him, Mac, as he lay at the bottom of the staircase, he took an oath.
Oh, I'd swear a little myself.
He took an oath that he'd follow Lady Jane wherever she went. His spirit would always haunt her.
Now, where did she go?
She came here to the United States and built the old McAdams place. And they say that on nights of a full moon, like tonight, the giant ghost of Lord McTavish returns. And while the eerie notes of bagpipes ring in the night air, he prowls the house in search of Lady Jane.
It makes a good story, but nobody in his right mind would believe it.
Well, you believe it, don't you, Mr. Nelson?
Yes, but I'm not. Of course, it's a lot of nonsense.
Okay, Mr. Nelson, but remember, if you go up there tonight and see the ghost and get a terrible fright and drop dead, don't come around saying I didn't warn you. Happy Halloween!
Harriet.
Oh, hello, dear. You back so soon?
No, I haven't gone yet. As a matter of fact, I've been thinking this over, and I don't think I'll go. The whole idea seems sort of childish.
Well, what about the boys, dear? You promised them.
I know, but I mean, after all, isn't it silly for a full-grown man? It's only a wild goose. That's all it is.
Well, if you'd like, dear, I'll go with you.
And the boys... What did you say?
I said I'll go with you.
There are times, Harriet, when a man likes to be alone.
Oh. Well, all right, dear.
Get your coat. This isn't one of those times. Don't get nervous now, dear. Just keep cool.
Oh, I'm cool, all right. Matter of fact, I'm shivering a little.
Just hold my hand good and tight.
I can't.
Hmm?
You're squeezing mine so hard the fingers are asleep.
Sorry. Is that better?
It's better. How do we get through this iron fence?
There's a gate here someplace, I think. It'll probably be bolted and spoil all our fun. They usually have a huge lock on these things and thick chains. Now, here we are. Oh.
Locked?
No.
Well, push it open.
Here, will you take the flashlight a second? Thanks. And the baseball bat, too.
Ooh. Doesn't this place look weird?
Yes, it is pretty spooky at that. Shall I sing something to keep your nerve up?
If you want to, dear.
It'll keep you from getting scared. Did you ever think, as the hearse goes by, someday you are going to die? There's a spook in the meadow.
Dear. Shh. It might frighten the ghosts. Must be a haunted house. The door squeaks.
I don't know why you insisted on coming along, Harriet. I could just as easily have come by myself.
Ozzie, something has hold of my coat.
Yeah, that's me. Who closed the door?
Didn't you?
No.
Oh, it must have been the wind. Gee, this place sure looks creepy with the moon streaming through the windows. What was that?
What? Now, don't be frightened. I'm right beside you.
Ozzie, there's something in this room. It's coming toward us.
It's getting closer. Harriet, quick, my baseball bat.
Hey, Oz, careful with that. Hello, Harriet.
You old trickster,
I
Thorny.
just thought I'd have a little fun with all the talk that's been going around about this place.
So you're the ghost David and Ricky saw. I should have guessed by the description. You should have a bagpipe, though, Thorny.
A bagpipe?
Well, sure, haven't you heard? This place is supposed to be haunted by a Scotch ghost who plays the bagpipe. And each night he comes down the stairs playing some old... Well, you do have one, Thorny. Where is it? Oh, you sure play awful.
Worse than you think. I don't play at all.
Did I hear a bagpipe? Listen, I can hear it plain as day.
Ozzie, up there at the head of the stairs.
The ghost. The ghost of Lord McTavish. Well, we've seen it. Let's go.
Now, let's all keep calm about this. We'll just be quiet. Oz, let's push it.
It's getting late, Thorny. Let's get out of here.
Ozzie, you're carrying my coat. Wait.
Oz, the door won't open. I keep turning the handle and it won't open.
Stop it, Thorny. You've got hold of my nose.
This way, boys. Thorny, the door's over here.
Follow me. I'll make one of my own.
More coffee, dear?
No, thanks. I can't understand it. There must be some scientific explanation. Did I seem very scared out there?
Oh, no, not especially.
I mean, did I act in any way that might give somebody the impression that this illusion we saw frightened me?
Well, no, you were very level-headed about it. Of course, it was the first time I've ever seen you jump a 7-foot fence.
I didn't think I could fool you. That thing, whatever it was, scared the daylights out of me.
I was plenty scared myself. I can't figure out those bagpipes.
No, and then what about the ghost?
Oh, well, yes, of course, the ghost, too.
Harriet, what are you stuffing behind the sofa pillow?
Oh, nothing, dear, just some old papers and things.
Wait a minute, let me see that.
It's only an old sheet.
You'll get the couch dirty. It's got cobwebs. Cobwebs!
How about a little more coffee?
And there's Ricky's baseball bat, the one I... Harriet, if you'd like to make a little confession, I'll listen. But if you'd rather not, I'd rather you would.
All right, dear. Just the boys and I thought it'd be nice if you could have a little fun on Halloween. You told them how much you enjoyed going to some haunted house. So we thought that if we could sort of... Ozzie, listen.
I'm listening. Go on.
No, listen. The bagpipes.
Yeah.
I hear the bagpipes again.
So do I.
Hey, Pop, can we have a dime?
Boys, listen. Do you hear bagpipes playing?
Sure, that's what we want the dime for. He's out front now.
Who's out front?
Mr. Campbell, the man with the Scotch plaid ice cream truck.
The Scotch plaid ice cream truck?
Well, sure. Haven't you ever seen him? Can we have a dime, Pop?
A dime? Here's 50 cents. Stuff yourselves.
Thanks, Pop. Oh, boy. Hurry up, David.
How about that? The bagpipes we heard at the McAdams place were from the Scotch plaid ice cream truck.
What a coincidence.
Oh, remarkable. You see, the Scotch plaid ice cream truck happened to stop there. See, there are no other houses around, and nobody lives there, but he happened to stop there. Played a different tune up there, too, didn't he?
I don't remember.
Harriet, believe me, it was only the Scotch plaid ice cream truck.
Yes, I know, dear.
I'll say it just once more. The bagpipes we heard at the McAdams place were from the Scotch plaid ice cream truck.
Okay, dear, you convinced me.
I wish I could convince myself I'd like to get some sleep tonight.
Ozzie and Harriet will be back in just a moment. Well, I don't know how you feel about it, but I kind of hope the bagpipe music didn't come from the Scotch plaid ice cream truck. Because that's the way Halloween ought to be. Lots of mysterious tapping at every window, witches riding through the air, spirits in every tree.
I've already had a message from the Halloween spirits, Mr. Smith. Last night on my way down Rogers Road, a voice spoke to me suddenly out of nowhere.
Honest? What did it say?
Beware. If you don't give us a special treat on Halloween, we'll spirit your new set of 1847 Rogers Brothers away from you. Beware.
Hey, now, there's a smart ghost if there ever was one.
You mean I have a smart son, if there ever was one. He hasn't heard me raving about my new 1847 Rogers Brothers for nothing.
Oh, nobody raves about 1847 Rogers Brothers for nothing. There are all kinds of good reasons for getting excited about it. 1847 is the finest silver plate in America, you know. No other silver plate in the world can match its beautiful features. Features like the exceptional height and depth of the pattern ornament, and the extra luster, perfect weight and balance of each piece. Those are the features that make 1847 Rogers Brothers really more like solid silver.
And don't forget the price of 1847 Rogers Brothers, Mr. Smith.
Oh, impossible to forget that, because it's so unusual. 1847 prices haven't gone up since 1945. Not a single penny. So, no matter how you look at it, 1847 Rogers Brothers is the silverware you want for your home. It's the best, the finest silver plate in America. Famous 1847 Rogers Brothers.
Oh, come on, dear. Put out the light. Let's go to sleep.
In a few minutes, Harriet. I just want to finish this article. Debunking the spook.
Debunking the spook?
Yeah, the man who wrote it spent the night in a house that was supposed to be haunted. As I sat there in the darkness, I could hear the clock in the village striking 12. Now was the witching hour. If ever the dead lived, now was the time they must rise from the grave. I stood up and dared the ghost to appear. I said, if you were a ghost, I dare you to strike me dead. Silly article.
What happened next?
Well, and let's see, he goes on to...
Yes?
The article ends right there.
Oh, come on, dear. I'm tired. I want to go to sleep.
And you know what might be fun? Let's sleep with the lights on tonight.
To
another adventure of Ozzie and Harriet, starring Ozzie Nelson and Harriet Hilliard.
And remember, America's finest silver plate is 1847 Rogers Brothers.
Yes, Harriet, America's finest silver plate is 1847 Rogers Brothers.
Appearing in support of Ozzie and Harriet were John Brown, Janet Waldo, Henry Blair, Tommy Bernard, and Jack Kirkwood. Original music was composed and conducted by Billy May. This program originates in the Hollywood studios of the National Broadcasting Company and is also broadcast over the Trans-Canada Network of the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. This adventure of Ozzie and Harriet will be transmitted to our men and women overseas by shortwave and through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service.
The Campbells are coming. No, Lord McTavish.
Ozzie?
It's a ghost.
Ozzie, wake up! What's so racket, Mom? Daddy's having a nightmare. Is that what he's doing? The noise really scared us. Well, it frightened me, too.
Okay, now we're even.
Adventure of Ozzie and Harriet, starring Ozzie Nelson and Harriet Hilliard. This is Fern Smith speaking.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet launched in October of 1944 on CBS. In 1948, in October, it would move to NBC, and then it'd switch back to CBS in April of 49. And then the show would move to ABC in October of that year, October of 1949, and it would stay there until 1954. And the reason that it made the move, well, Ozzie was smart. He made a deal with ABC to give them a 10-year deal that paid the Nelsons whether the series was canceled or not. The TV show would go on the air in October of 1952 and would stay on the air on first run until April of 1966. As I said, Ozzie was a smart businessman. Now, let's go to 1946, October 27th, for an episode of the Jack Benny Program.
Your automobile may save your life during a national emergency. It can move you out of the target area, provide shelter, communications, and carry supplies. Keep your car in good shape at all times.
There are iconic moments in the Jack Benny program, and of course it's no great secret that Jack did not particularly enjoy the Sportsman Quartet, at least in character, because he didn't like giving them money. Well, in this program, he has dreams about the quartet. And an iconic moment occurs, but it has nothing to do with Jack directly. You'll hear that in this episode of the Jack Benny program from 78 years ago, October 27th, 1946.
The Jack Benny Program.
Quality of product is essential to continuing success.
Lucky Strike means fine tobacco, so round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw.
LSMFT, LSMFT, LSMFT.
Remember, year in,
year out.
Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. And in a cigarette, it's the tobacco that counts.
Independent tobacco experts, auctioneers, buyers, and warehousemen, men who spend their lives buying, selling, and handling tobacco, can see just who buys what tobacco. And year after year, at auction after auction, they can see the makers of Lucky Strike consistently select and buy that fine, that light, that naturally mild tobacco.
Remember, Lucky Strike means fine tobacco, and fine tobacco means real deep-down smoking enjoyment for you. So smoke that smoke of fine tobacco, Lucky Strike. So round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw.
American.
Program starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson.
ladies and gentlemen, people often wonder what a comedian does after he finishes his radio program. Well, let's go back to last Sunday afternoon. The Jack Benny program is over, and Jack and Mary are leaving the studio.
Gee, Mary, I liked the show we did tonight, didn't you?
Yeah.
Wasn't that a terrific mystery sketch I did? The Fiddler. Gee. I am the Fiddler. I influence the lives of innocent people. I make them steal, hate, and even murder.
Jack, put away that knife. The program's over.
I'm just cleaning my fingernails. Anyway, I thought it was a wonderful sketch. What are you laughing at?
I'll never forget the look on your face when you opened the door where you thought the murderer was and found the quartet instead.
Oh, yes, them. You know, Mary, those guys are driving me nuts. I wish there was some way I could get rid of them. If I could just say, I've got it.
Oh, no, Jack. Where would you hide the body?
I wasn't thinking of that. Anyway, I got to figure out some way.
Jack, let's stop in the drugstore for a snack.
Well, look, Mary, it's only 5 o'clock. If you'll wait till later, I'll take you out and buy you a full-course dinner.
I'm no gambler. I'll take a sandwich now.
All right, come on.
Here are 2 seats, Jack.
Oh, yes. What are you going to have, Mary?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, here's something that looks good. A Dunker Special.
A Dunker Special? What's that?
Coffee, donuts, and a rubber glove, 15 cents.
Nah, I don't get that. I had it last time. The glove had a hole in it.
What are you going to have?
Gee, I don't know. Oh, waiter. Waiter.
Yeah.
Oh, him again. Now, let's see.
Waiter, I'll have a Chiss Sweet Sam.
Well, she'll have a Chiss Sweet sandwich.
Waiter, I'll have a Swiss cheese sandwich.
Yes, ma'am. 1 Swiss cheese sandwich. 1 Swiss cheese. Ole, ole,
Well, I see Mr. Kitzel is still working here.
Have you made up your mind yet, musclebound?
Yes, I'll have a chocolate malted milk.
1 chocolate malted milk. Put an egg in it.
Wait a minute. I don't want an egg in it.
Have you looked in the mirror lately?
All right, give me a malted milk with an egg in it.
Fried or scrambled?
Look, I want a malted milk with an egg in it. Just a plain raw egg.
All right. 1 malted milk for a barbarian.
Look, waiter, why is it you always...
Oh, Jack, let it go. You know you always antagonize him.
I do not.
You do, too.
You know, Mary, I'm never going to come in here again if that waiter doesn't stop with
Hello,
all that...
Mr. Benny. Can I sit here with you and Miss Livingston?
Oh, hello, Dennis.
I thought you went home.
I came in for a sandwich first, and you know what? I just weighed myself.
Oh.
I weigh 140 pounds, stripped.
Stripped?
Yeah, I took the weighing machine into the phone booth.
Dennis.
And when I put in a penny, a little card came out.
What'd it say, kid?
It said, put on your pants. The lady wants to use the phone.
Oh, stop being silly.
Here's your sandwich, miss.
Thank you.
And here's yours.
Hey, wait a minute. I ordered a malted milk. This is an ice cream soda.
That's not ice cream. That's an egg.
Well, at least you could have broken it. Can't you break an egg?
If I could break an egg, I'd punch you right in the nose.
Oh, you would, eh? Well, let me tell you...
Oh, Jack, sit down. Everybody's looking at you.
Well, all right, but I don't want this malted milk. I'm going to have a cup of coffee, and I don't want this guy waiting on me. Oh, Mr. Kitzel! Mr. Kitzel!
Just a second, please. I'm reading that new book, The Herring and I.
Oh, come here a minute, will you?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Kitzel, I always have trouble with this waiter. Will you please take care of me?
What pleasure. What will you have?
A cup of coffee.
Sanke, panke, or schmanke?
Just plain coffee.
In a jiffy.
Thank you.
Well, hello, everybody.
Well, Don, sit down. Have a sandwich or something.
No, thanks, Jack. I just dropped in to weigh myself.
Oh.
Is that the little card you got out of the scale, Don?
Yes.
Let me see it.
Oh, no,
Oh,
Mary.
come on. Let me see it.
Oh, okay, here.
Say, Don, do you... What are you laughing at, Mary? What's the weight on the card, Mary?
It doesn't give any weight. It just says, get off, you're hurting me.
Hey, that's pretty good. Stay down. As long as you're here, I want to talk to you about that quartet. Now, I'm not
Well, if it ain't that old gang of mine.
Hello, Phil. Hey, Phil, how'd your show go today?
Dynamite, Jackson, dynamite. And say, you know that gag you called up and gave me yesterday?
Yeah.
It laid there. But I didn't need it. My charming personality made it roll, Jackson, it rolled. Hey, waiter.
What'll it be?
Give me a Phil Harris special.
Okay, 1 ham omelet, put a wave in it.
That's a good one, you know.
Want anything to drink with it, Mr. Harris?
Nothing to drink. I'm on the wagon.
Phil, he means coffee, tea, or milk.
Oh, waiter, I'll have a cup of tea, please.
Do you want cream or lemon with it?
Gee, that sounds good. Give me the cream and lemon and never mind the tea.
Dennis, grow up, will you?
Jack, I'm through with my sandwich.
Okay. Come on, Mary. I'll walk you home. So long, fellas.
Hey, Jackson, what about the check?
You and Dennis can split it. You both got shows of your own now. Come on, Mary. Back your rumba, your samba, your conga, Let me see, where's my house? Oh, there it is. I don't know what I'd do without these fog lights on my knees. Hello, Rochester.
Hello, boss. You're home a little later than usual.
Yes. You see, Miss Livingston felt hungry, so I took her to the Macombo.
Did you say Macombo, boss?
Yes. On our way home, we stopped off for a few dances at Ciro's.
Ciro's?
Yes. And then I thought as long as I took her to the Macombo and Ciro's, it'd be nice.
Boss, you're in the house now and the neighbors can't hear. How are things at the drugstore?
Huh? Rochester, how did you know that I was at the drugstore?
Mr. Benny, you can fool some of the neighbors all of the time and all of the neighbors some of the time, but I ain't a neighbor. I live here.
Oh, I've been to Ciro's, and you know it. Well, it's been a long day, Rochester. I think I'll go up to bed.
Just a minute. I'll strap on my Indian papoose bag.
You don't have to carry me. I can walk upstairs myself. Now, make my bed, will you, please?
Yes, sir.
I'm going in the library and get a book. Oh, hello, Polly.
Hello.
Did Polly hear Daddy on his program today?
Hello again.
Oh, then you did hear the show. Come on now, Polly. What else did you hear on my program? Come on. Now, come on. What else did you hear?
Ham hocks and turnip greens.
That's right. Keep on. Come on, Polly. Come on. Keep going.
That's what I like about.
About what? Come on, Polly. About what?
And that's what I like about. That's what I like about.
Oh, never mind. I'll teach you tomorrow. Now, let's see. What book do I want here? This one will do.
The South.
That's right, Polly. That's it. Now, say the whole thing. That's what I like about. Come on, Polly. Say the whole thing. That's what I like about.
That's what I like about the whole thing.
Yeah, the whole thing. Well, I'm going to bed. Good night, Polly. I don't know. I don't know what's the matter with that bird. She can't keep her mind on things. Every year at this time, she acts the same. Stays that way until the swallows come back to Capistrano. Oh, well, I guess if I had feathers, I'd understand.
Your bed's all ready, boss. Here are your pajamas.
Good.
Why are you going to bed so early?
It's not early. It's 8:30. Anyway, I'm always nervous and upset after the program on Sundays. That quartet that sings a commercial drives me crazy.
But, boss, I think it's nice to have music with a commercial.
Rochester, all Wilson has to say is LSMFT, LSMFT. Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. Yes, Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. So round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw. That's all he has to say, and people will walk down to the nearest store and buy Lucky Strikes.
I know, but if you do it with music, they'll dance down.
Rochester, I'm Jack Benny, not Arthur Murray. I'm going to bed. Please turn out the light.
Okay. Good night, boss.
Good night. Oh, Rochester.
Yes, boss.
Blow out my jack-o'-lantern. It scares me.
Yes, sir. Good night.
Good night. Oh, gee. Certainly glad I went to bed early. I don't feel like reading either. Maybe I'll listen to the radio a little while.
And that concludes another session of our very popular quiz program, Take It and Go Already. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the following is a Spot announcement. Thank you, Spot.
What was that?
And now, in answer to many requests, lovely Patricia Duvall will sing that beautiful ballad, I'll See You in My Dreams.
Gee, I love that number.
I'll see you in my dreams. Hold you in my dreams.
Must be something wrong with my radio. Must be the radio.
I feel the thrill of your charms. Oh, you're ever lovely.
People requested that?
Tender eyes that shine, let 'em shine, make 'em shine like the stars above your face. I'll see
What a voice.
in my dreams.
When you're feeling
Hey,
that's the thing to do.
say, that's a nice quartet.
Just watch the smoke rings rise.
Why can't my quartet sing as good as that?
You'll find your share of memories
Gee, they sing good, this quartet.
Mr. Benny. Oh, Mr. Benny.
Huh? Huh? Who are you? What are you doing in my bedroom?
We just came out of your radio. We're the quartet called the Sportsmen.
Say, you fellas are wonderful. Gee, I wish you were my quartet.
We are.
You mean you're the same fellas who do my commercials? Say, you are the guys. Well, let me ask you something. Why don't you sing for me like you did on that program I just heard?
Because you antagonize us.
I do not.
You do too.
Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute, you fellas. This is some trick. You're not the same guys who do my commercials.
Oh, we're not, eh?
LSLSMFT, la 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 la, LSLSMFT, la 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 la,
Stop it! Stop it! You guys think you're so smart. Well, this is the last time I'm going to have trouble with you.
Put down that gun.
It's too late now. Take that. Gee, tenors are hard to kill. Well, I guess that'll hold you for a while. Now, come on, you guys. Come on, get out of here. Get out. Wait a minute. They're dead. I killed them. I killed them. But I didn't mean to.
Order in the court. Order in the court.
In the court? What am I doing here?
The next trial will be the case of Jack Benny versus the people of Anaheim, Azusa, and my darling Clementine.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What am I charged with?
You are charged with killing your quartet.
That's a crime?
Yes, and not only murder, but the court attendant will read the following charges.
On the night of September 30th, Jack Benny, willfully and with malice aforethought, did... You'll be sorry.
I did all that?
Yes, and anything you say will be used against you.
But look...
You better let your lawyer do all your talking.
But I haven't got a lawyer. This is a fine how do you do.
How do you do?
You, Dennis. Dennis, you're my lawyer?
Silly boy.
Dennis, you, my lawyer.
Certainly. Don't you remember you hired me for $35 a week?
But, kid, I only hired you to sing on my radio program.
Yes, but in the fine print of my contract, it says that I have to be your lawyer when I'm not mowing your lawn.
Oh, yes. Yes, I remember I hired you because you weighed 140 pounds stripped.
Everyone rise. Here comes His Honor, the judge.
What is this? I don't need any trial. When the judge hears my story, he'll know that I'm innocent. He has such a kind, intelligent face. Oh, Judge?
Yeah.
Oh. Are you the judge?
Yes. And let's get on with the execution.
You mean trial?
I know how it's going to end.
Wait a minute, Judge. You mean I'm going to be Dennis? Dennis, you're my lawyer. Say something.
To each his own. What? It's either that or plead guilty.
Gee, I'm glad you thought of that.
Hiya, Jackson.
Phil, what are you doing here?
I'm the district attorney, and I ain't going to rest until you're executed.
Phil, you're the district attorney. You've got 2 shows now. Who appointed you district attorney?
Petrello.
Oh, but Phil. Phil, you're not a lawyer. You're a musician. I know you're a musician.
Oh, trying to plead insanity, huh?
But I'm not. I'm not trying to plead insanity.
Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt this trial to bring you a spot announcement. Thank you, Fido.
Fido? What happened to Spot? Oh, well, he was probably just a summer replacement. Anyway, I know I'll get out of this mess. I know I will.
Sure you will, Jack. Don't worry.
Don, Don, where'd you come from?
Eastern Columbia, Broadway at night.
What?
I'm the big cluck.
That's Clark. And now the prosecution calls its surprise witness, Miss Mary Livingston.
Make room, fellas. Make room. Hello, Philsy. Hiya, Judge.
Miss Livingston, please take your usual seat.
No, Judge, I might spoil the crease in your pants. I better sit in the witness chair.
Gee, and they're nylons, too. And look at those fog lights on her knees with dimples on them.
Miss Livingston, before you're allowed to testify, the bailiff will swear you in. Go ahead, Bay.
Miss Livingston, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, with pickle in the middle and the mustard on top?
No, with the mustard in the middle and the bananas in the refrigerator.
Gee, is that the way they swear in witnesses today?
Now, Miss Livingston, as the prosecuting attorney, I want to ask you, have you ever been out on a date with the defendant, Jack Benny?
Yes, several times.
Did Mr. Benny ever attempt to kiss you?
Sure. Mr. Benny is a caveman type of lover.
Caveman type of lover?
Yes, one kiss and he caves in.
I do not.
Now, Miss Livingston, concerning the alleged murder of this quartet, do you...
Objection overruled.
But nobody objected.
I know, and it was getting awfully dull.
Dennis, the judge is against me. I'm afraid. I tell you.
Order in the court. The 497th day of the trial of Jack Benny is on.
Gee, I'm so tired.
Now, miss, you're a brand new witness. Please tell us all about yourself.
I am a telephone operator. My name is Gertrude Gearshift. I work at NBC. Wednesday is my night off, if you know what I mean.
Now, when you work at NBC, you hear all the telephone conversations that come through, don't you?
No, there are other switchboards. I'm on the first, Mabel's on the second, and Greenberg's on third.
Greenberg? How did he get in here?
Now, Miss Gearshift, you asked to be brought here as a witness. Tell the court in your own words exactly what you said to me in my office this afternoon.
I said, stop, you're smearing my lipstick.
No.
I said that too, but you wouldn't
listen. Dennis, I don't like the way the trial is going. I tell you, I'm worried.
Now, Mr. Benny, will you please take the stand?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Benny, what is your occupation?
I am the fiddler.
I play by night. I influence.
Order in the court. The jury will now give their verdict.
So fast?
Foreman, have you reached a verdict? Good. What is your decision?
We find the defendant, Jack Benny, guilty of...
Guilty of what?
the whole thing.
But this is ridiculous. I'm innocent, I tell you. I never was responsible for anyone's death in my entire life.
What about the gas man?
Rochester, stand aside. Your Honor, please listen to me. Your Honor, I admit that I killed my quartet. But it was justifiable homicide. They were making me a nervous wreck. They were driving me crazy. I was paying them $500 a week. They never sang good for me. But they always sang beautifully on other programs. So pretty with such beautiful harmony. I remember because I heard them the night I killed them. I was lying in bed and I turned on my radio.
Find your share of memories there, so free.
must have fallen asleep. Well, what do you know? I forgot to turn off the radio.
We'll be back in just a minute, but first here is my good friend, L.A. Speed Riggs.
Remember this all-important fact. It takes fine tobacco to make a fine cigarette. And Lucky Strike means fine tobacco.
Mr. John L. Pinnix, independent tobacco warehouseman of Reedsville, North Carolina, has operated tobacco warehouses for 28 years. He said,
"At all the auctions I've attended, I've seen the makers of Lucky Strike buy tobacco that just can't be beat when it comes to smoking enjoyment. That's why for 28 years I've been a Lucky Strike smoker."
Year after year, at auction after auction, independent tobacco experts like Mr. Pinnix can see the makers of Lucky Strike consistently select and buy that fine, that light, that naturally mild tobacco. Fine, light, naturally mild tobacco. Yes, Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. And fine tobacco means real deep-down smoking enjoyment for you.
LSMFT, LSMFT, LSMFT.
Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. So smoke that smoke of fine tobacco, Lucky Strike. So round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw.
The famous tobacco auctioneers heard on tonight's program are Mr. L.A. Speed Riggs of Goldsboro, North Carolina, and Mr. F.E. Boone of Lexington, Kentucky.
At 59, American.
Basil Rysdale speaking for Lucky Strike, the cigarette of fine tobacco.
Oh, gee. That was one of the silliest dreams I ever had. Oh, well. I'll get back to sleep again. Darn that Rochester. I told him to blow out my jack-o'-lantern.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
From 78 years ago, October 27th, 1946, Jack Benny here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Of course, you would hear a number of quartets along the way, some of them not necessarily the Sportsmen. One of them that you would hear would be an all-star quartet along the way. Now, while I get something to eat, and it will not be a Chiswee sandwich, we will hear The Life of Riley.
During a national emergency, you may have to be your own fireman. Take the first step now. Remove all fire hazards in your home. Eliminate clutter. Store flammables in a safe place.
And if you don't have any kind of a shelter, we do still have in the comments of the podcast the Family Fallout Shelter booklet that was promoted heavily in that era. You go to the website listed in the comments about the Family Fallout Shelter book. It's totally free of charge. All right, let's roll on here. Oh, tomorrow on the program, we'll have Westerns and Crime with Fort Laramie, also Gunsmoke, crime classics, and an episode of Suspense called The Shelter. And that one is extremely disturbing. It's from 1954. A man and a woman wait at a deserted bus stop. One of them is possibly an escaped homicidal maniac. That'll be on the Monday show. On Tuesday, Jack Benny, Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy, Amos and Andy, a show from 1952 where Mama is involved in a romance. Also, Jimmy Durante. And then on Wednesday, our annual presentation of the Mercury Theater, War of the Worlds. And we're also going to include this year, since we have the podcast available, we are going to also bring you an episode of Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy, Chase and Sanborn Hour, that ran directly opposite the Mercury Theater that day. And we'll also bring you, of course, the annual playing of how Orson Welles met H.G. Wells. We'll have that all coming up as well. But right now, let us get back to this, and we will hear from William Bendix, starring as Chester Riley in The Life of Riley, 79 years ago, October 27th, 1945.
Hello? Oh, hello, Frank. Did you hear the good news? Boy, I'm the happiest man in the world. Yes, it arrived 5 minutes ago. Cutest little thing you ever saw. 7 pounds, 4 ounces. No, it's not a boy. It's not a girl either. It's a radio. Now I can hear The Life of Riley.
Teal, T-E-E-L, Teal, the amazing liquid dentifrice. That's it, T-E-E-L. Teal, the amazing liquid dentifrice, brings you The Life of Riley with William Bendix as Riley. Remember, friends, for beautiful smiles, it's T-E-E-L, Teal. And just for laughs, it's R-I-L-E-Y, Riley in The Life of Riley. Life as the head of a family may be a bowl of cherries, but Chester A. Riley usually gets the pits. His current problem concerns his 13-year-old son, Junior. Right now, Mrs. Riley is telling the head of the house the details.
And tonight he didn't eat a bite of dinner.
Yeah, I noticed that, Dumpling.
And for the past few days he's been very moody. So today I decided that I'd try to find out what he's got on his mind.
That's the trouble with that boy. Always thinking. He certainly don't get it from me.
Oh, it's his girlfriend Marilyn he's worried about. You see, Marilyn likes another boy who's playing football against Junior on Saturday. And the winning school's going to have a victory dance. Well, if Junior's team loses, Marilyn's going with the other boy.
I knew there was a woman at the bottom of this. Women. The root of all evil. And Junior's too young to go around pulling up roots. I gotta have a talk with that boy.
Now, don't you let on I told you.
Oh, no, I won't. I'm just going to tell him about the time that a girl put me on a spot like that. But I taught her a lesson she'll never forget.
Oh, yes? What did you do?
I married her. Hiya, Junior. How's John J. Buskowitz Junior High School star quarterback?
Oh, hello, Pop.
Do you mind if I sit on the curb next to you?
No.
Oh, there's nothing like sitting on a curbstone when you want to think. Kind of brings your brains down to earth. Got a big game Saturday, huh?
Yeah.
Well, you're not nervous about it.
Oh, no. Not me.
Good. I knew a fella once, great football player, too. One time he got very nervous before a game.
Did I know him?
Not at the time.
Well, what made him nervous?
What makes any man nervous? Girls of the female type.
Oh.
It's quite a story, Junior. Once upon a time, there was a prince of a fella whose name, by an odd coincidence, was Riley. And he lived with his mother in a far-off land where the people were different than other people. This land was called Brooklyn. One day, during the football season, this fellow...
Chester.
Yeah, Mom.
What are you doing with my iron?
I'm heating it up. I'm going to press my pants.
What for? You ain't graduating high school for 3 years yet. Maybe 4 the way you're going.
Yeah, I know, but I got kind of a appointment tonight.
Oh, that girl of yours again.
Oh, cut it out, Mom. I ain't exactly got a girl.
Ah, don't tell me, you big ox. You have a date with the same girl 7 nights a week.
Well, only once a week, Mom. The other 6 nights, I just walk past her house. Her name's Peg, and she's beautiful.
Oh, stop thinking about girls and get your mind on something sensible. Like football. Go work out on the punching bag. You need a good left hook in the scrimmage.
Well, they got a new rule now, Mom. No more slugging.
The rule ruining the game with their new rules. In your father's day, they had only one rule. Never kick a man who's down unless you're sure he can't get up.
What did you say, Mom?
Oh, forget it, you lovesick goof. Go wash that face of yours. I'll press your pants.
Oh, you're awful quiet tonight, Chester. You thinking about somebody?
Yeah, Peg. Somebody.
Anybody I know?
Yeah. Your father. Gee, I wish your father liked me.
Oh, don't let's talk about Papa. It's a beautiful night, isn't it?
Yeah. And these are certainly wonderful steps.
Oh, they're just like all the rest of the block.
No, they ain't. The others ain't got you on them.
Oh, Chester, what a pretty speech.
I'm full of them, only they all get tangled up in my tonsils.
Well, maybe instead of sitting way over on that side of the steps, if you came and sat next to me, it would help you to talk.
I better not, Peggy. You don't know me when I get started. If I come over there, the next thing I'll be trying to put my arm around you.
Well, I could let you know if I didn't like it.
Oh, Peggy, what you said.
Oh, shh. There's somebody at the window.
Margaret!
Yes, Papa.
Are you alone out there?
Well, practically.
Remember what I told you about that Riley boy? I don't want that wart around here.
Oh, dear, I'm sorry, Chester.
Oh, that's okay. It ain't your fault he called me a wart. Maybe someday I'll grow on him. You'll see. Someday I'll be a big success.
Oh, sure you will.
And someday, Peggy, I...
Yes, Chester? Someday you'll what?
Well, Oh, look, here comes that smart aleck Clinton Badger.
Oh, in his brand new automobile.
Show off, driving a Model T.
Hiya, Peggy.
Good evening, Clinton.
Good night, Clinton.
Pipe down, Riley. I'm talking to the lady.
Oh, yeah, get back in that tin Lizzie, you tin lizard.
Yeah? One more crack like that, Riley, and I'll tweak the end of your nose.
Oh, afraid to come near me, huh?
Oh, now stop or I'll never speak to either of you again. Clinton, please go.
Okay, dream girl. But don't forget, kiddo, you and me got a date for that boat ride Sunday.
Peg, you're not going on a boat ride with him?
Well, it depends on who wins the game Saturday. Clinton made me bet him that if his team won, I'd go with him.
Peg, it ain't nice for girls to make bets.
Oh, but Chester, your team's going to win, isn't it? You told me it was. You will win for me.
Peggy, when you look at me like that, I could do anything.
Oh, you're awful sweet, Chester. Now close your eyes.
Why? I ain't sleepy.
Oh, you silly. There, for good luck.
Peg, you kissed me. Oh, boy. Oh, boy!
Margaret!
Yes, Papa?
Come in the house at once. Get rid of that big baboon.
Baboon. I'd better go. He knows it's me.
What you say, Clinton? How about a game of pool? Nah, Chuck, I gotta make a phone call. I just got a hot idea to make sure we win Saturday's game. Yeah? How, Clint? Well, I'm gonna make a monkey out of a Satan monkey named Riley. I'm gonna phone this Riley, see, and make believe I'm No Dice Noonan, the big gambler. Come on, I'll fix this Riley's wagon once and for all.
Kiss me again, kiss me again, kiss me again and again. Kiss me again. Oh. Hello?
I want to talk to a kid named Riley, top floor.
Oh, this is Riley. I was just coming in. Who's this?
This is No Dice Noonan. You heard of me, ain't you?
Yes, sir, Mr. Noonan. When did you get out? Welcome home, Mr. Noonan.
Listen, kid. We got a lot of dough bet on that game you're playing Saturday, see?
Don't worry, Mr. Nooser. I'll win for you.
Wrong, chump. You're gonna lose for me.
Lose?
You heard me. The mob is betting on you to lose, and you better lose, see? Or else.
Or else?
Or else you'll be taking a dive off the dock in a cement bathing suit. How'd you like that, Riley?
Oh, I wouldn't. Even without cement, my mother don't let me dive off docks.
Well, then don't forget. Lose or else.
Well, wait a minute. Wait, hello? Wait. Gee, what a choice I gotta make. If I lose, my girl will look up at me and say, Chester, don't speak to me. And if I win, she'll look down at me and say, Chester, speak to me.
Teal has just brought you the first act of The Life of Riley, and we'll be back with Riley in just a moment. Meanwhile, this is Ken Carpenter with a bit of advice. Here's a funny thing about cleaning your teeth, something most people don't know. Instead of helping your teeth, you may actually be doing them harm. You may be grinding cavities right in at the gum line. And scientific facts prove Teal is the only leading dentifrice that avoids such cavities. Listen.
Out of every 10 adults, 8 have receding gums. When gums recede, softer and less protected parts of the teeth are exposed. Those parts are 25 times softer than tooth enamel and are easily damaged by the regular use of a toothpaste or powder containing harsh abrasives. Therefore, the chances are 8 in 10 you are risking those ground-in cavities daily, unless the dentifrice you use contains no such abrasives.
Yes, and only Teal, of all leading dentifrices, contains no abrasives. Teal cleans teeth with a patented ingredient, protects teeth from ground-in gum line cavities as no other leading dentifrice can. Now, surely that's reason enough to switch to Teal, but you'll enjoy its wonderful flavor, too, its cleansing action. The Teal way takes 1 extra minute a week, makes teeth look their sparkling best safely. So switch to T-E-E-L, Teal, the liquid dentifrice, and follow directions on the package. Teal protects teeth beautifully. And now, back to The Life of Riley with William Bendix as Riley. We left Riley telling his son, Junior, a story out of Riley's own boyhood, where Riley was threatened with murder unless he threw a certain football game. But what our hero didn't know at the time was that the sinister, threatening phone call was actually a practical joke by his arch-rival, Clinton Badger, who was trying to steal Riley's girl.
So you see, Junior, this fellow Riley didn't dare win, and he didn't dare lose. If he lost, his girl would go on a boat ride with Clinton. And if he won, she'd go to her funeral with Riley.
But, Pop, why didn't he tell his girl what he was up against?
Junior, it ain't nice to worry a woman until after you're married to her. In fact, this Riley wouldn't even tell his mother. Though his mother kind of suspected something was eating him because he wasn't...
Why, Chester.
Yeah, Mom.
Don't you like what I cooked for your supper?
Sure, Mom, sure. Boy, what wonderful spare ribs.
That's your fingers you're chewing.
Huh? Oh, yeah. I'd better wipe off the ketchup.
What's the matter with you?
I don't know, Mom. Lately, I'm a nervous wretch.
Well, settle down or you won't play a good game tomorrow.
Mom, that reminds me. I'm giving up football. What?
Give up football? Over my dead body?
No, over mine. I mean, it's too rough, Mom.
Chester Riley, I'm not raising any sissy. You're playing fullback on that team tomorrow, and I'm going to be right there when you kick off.
Don't say that. The telephone. Maybe it's No Dice Noonan. Maybe he's changed his mind. Hello, Mr. Noonan?
Why, no, Chester, it's Peg.
Oh, Peg. Peg. Hello.
Chester, guess what? Papa's going to the game with me tomorrow, so you got to be sure to win.
Well, listen, Peg. Just suppose, mind you, that we lost the game.
Why, Chester Riley, you can't lose.
Oh, yes, we can.
Oh, you mustn't. Papa'd never stop laughing at you, and I'd have to go on the boat ride with that Clinton Badger, and... Are you sure you'll win?
Sure we'll win. We'll win if it kills me.
Oh, that'll be wonderful.
Chester's team, over there.
What runts? And look at the hulking brute they have for a coach.
That's not the coach, that's Chester. He's a little bigger than some of his class. He was late for school one year.
Hey, are you Peg Winslow?
Yes.
Here's a note for you.
Just a minute, let me see that. Who's that from?
I don't know, mister. A guy said give it to her.
Why, Papa, it's for me.
Quiet, I'll see if I want you to read it. What's this? Dear Miss Winslow, don't let your father bet on Riley's team. Riley is going to throw the game. The crook signed a friend. You hear that, Margaret?
Oh, it's a lie.
I always knew that Riley couldn't be trusted.
Well, I trust him, and he'll win. You'll see. Oh, look. There goes Chester's team into a cuddle.
Not cuddle, huddle. I tell you, that Riley doesn't look like my idea of a football.
Now, listen, fellas. Before the game begins, Riley.
Yeah, Coach.
What are you so nervous about, Riley?
I ain't nervous.
Then take that football out of your mouth. Now, listen, boys. We'll go over that new play once more. Here it is.
Mm-hmm.
Johnson snaps the ball to Marco, the halfback. Marco fakes a pass to Stevens, but throws it to Janowski, who hands it to you, and you kick from the end zone. Got it, Riley?
Yeah. Johnson snaps Marco's back in half and throws him to Janowski, and then I kick Janowski in the end zone?
No. Listen once more, Riley. Johnson snaps the ball back to Marco, who fakes the pass.
What's holding things up, Papa?
They're going to kick off. Now we'll see who's right about Riley.
Chester's going to catch the ball. He's got it. Oh, he dropped it. Oh, Chester.
I told you so. Fumbled on purpose. Look, Clinton's picked up the ball. There goes Clinton.
Oh, Chester fell down, and Clinton stepped on it.
Attaboy, Clinton. Look at him. He's over. Clinton made a touchdown.
Don't you care, Riley. I still think you're the best player our school ever had.
Thanks, Shrimpy. And you're the best water boy we ever had. Shrimpy, what's the score now?
14-14, end of the first half. Our team made 2 touchdowns after the coach took you out.
Yeah, and their team made 2 before he took me out. My girl will never look at me again.
Ah, sure she will. Say, that Clinton Badger's over talking to her now.
The sneak visiting my girl in front of all these people.
Well, show him up, Riley. Go out and make a couple of touchdowns, too, like he did.
You're right, kid. I'll show him. Hey, Coach.
Well, what do you want?
Please, Coach, put me back in the game.
Sit down on that bench.
No, don't keep me on the bench. Send me in.
I'd rather send in the bench.
Please, Coach, you gotta give me a chance. I'll win that game for us, I swear.
Well, all right. Go on in, Riley. But this time, use your brain.
Yes, sir. I've been resting it up all season just for this.
Only 10 seconds to play and the score's still tied. What a game.
Come on, Chester, please.
Signal, 46, 23, 18. Hey!
Oh, look, Papa, Chester's running.
Stop him! Stop him!
No! Run, Chester, run!
What's that idiot doing, zigzagging through both teams? He's all mixed up.
Oh, he is not. He's running in circles to fool him. Look, he's got away. He's all over the ball.
Stop him! Stop him!
Oh, he can't. Oh, look at him run. Oh, goody, he's over. Chester made a touchdown.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy, I done it. I done it!
Riley, do you realize what you've done?
Well, sure, Coach. I won the game. Listen to him cheering me.
That's the other side cheering. You ran the wrong way. You just won the game for the other team.
What a revolting development this is.
What a game.
I got all your clothes in a bundle, Riley.
Thanks, Shrimpy. Well, I guess I'd better go home.
Well, gee, Riley, you'd better say goodnight to the team first.
Oh, yeah. They think I was pretty rude. If I... Well, good night, Coach. Good night, Joe. See you later, Janowski. Good night, Elmer. Good night, fellas.
Riley, it's dark. You ought to go home.
Let me alone, Shrimpy. I ain't never going home.
Oh, listen, Riley, I found a note. Your girl dropped it. You want it?
It ain't polite to read other people's notes. Let me see it.
Here.
Dear Miss Winslow, don't let your father bet on Riley's team. He's going to throw the game. Throw it? I did not throw... Come on, Shrimpy. I got to see Peg. I got to tell her I didn't.
Wait, Riley. Look. Your girl and Aunt Clinton sitting on her front steps.
Yeah, look at him. He's sitting on what I usually sit on. Listen at him laughing.
Well, Peggy, you heard what your old man said. May the best man win, and he did. Oh, I'd like to see Riley's face right now.
If he don't stop hanging around my girl, he'll see my face on the end of his fist.
Listen, Peg, this'll kill you. You know why Riley played such a dopey game? He was nervous, see? Last week he got a phone call from a gambler who told him if he won, they'd dump him in the East River.
How does he know?
Now listen to me, Clinton Badger. If you're saying Chester deliberately threw that game, just save your breath. Chester isn't crooked, he's just stupid.
She's defending me. She's defending me.
Don't you get it, honey? It wasn't a gambler called Riley at all. It was a joke, see? The gambler was me.
You?
Him. Let go of me, Shrimpy. I heard enough.
Oh, Chester.
So it was you, huh, Badger?
Keep away from me, Riley. There's ladies present.
Oh, is that so? Listen, Chester, if you don't punch him, I'll punch you.
Thanks, Peg. Put up your dukes, Badger.
No. Cut it out, Riley.
When I get through with you, you'll be able to hang your head on the back of your neck. That's where your nose is going to be. Where'd he go?
Oh, Chester, you knocked him into an ash can. Are you going to leave him like that?
Of course not. I'm going to put the lid up.
Oh, gee, Riley, you were great.
Thanks, Shrimpy.
Well, Shrimpy, you know what they say. Two's company and three's a crowd.
Oh, yeah, I'll go, Peg.
Chester, you dope. Come here. There.
You kissed me. Peg, that's twice you kissed me. I guess now we'll have to get married.
Well, someday, if you're sure you want me, Chester.
Oh, sure, I'm sure. I'm going right home and tell my mother. Oh, boy, I feel like I'm floating in the air. Good night, Peggy. Good night, Shrimpy. Oh, I almost forgot. Good night, Clinton. Good night.
Teal has just brought you The Life of Riley, and the Rileys will return in half a minute. Tonight, as you brush your teeth, remember this. Teal on your toothbrush is much, much safer than toothpaste or powders containing harsh abrasives. For remember, out of every 10 adults, 8 have receding gums. And that means parts of the teeth are exposed which are 25 times softer than tooth enamel. And brushing those softer parts daily with any dentifrice containing harsh abrasives grinds in ugly cavities. But Teal protects teeth from such cavities as no other leading dentifrice can. For Teal cleans teeth without abrasives, cleans teeth gently with a patented ingredient. The Teal way takes 1 extra minute a week, makes teeth look their sparkling best safely. So next time ask for T-E-E-L, Teal, the liquid dentifrice with the foamy cleansing action. Just follow directions on the package. Teal protects teeth beautifully.
Well, Pop, that story you told me sure helped. I made 3 touchdowns, and Marilyn...
Marilyn what?
Well, Marilyn kissed me.
Marilyn kissed you. Tough luck, Junior. That's the beginning of the end.
Oh, Riley, I don't think we ought to let Junior play football. It's such a dangerous game.
Well, it's good training for a boy. Prepares him for marriage.
Marriage?
Well, sure. Marriage is just like football. First you engage, that's a long huddle. Then there's the wedding ceremony, that's the kickoff. You bring home your first pay envelope and you get tackled. Then when your mother-in-law moves in, that's interference. But don't get me wrong, Dumplin', I love the game. Folks, this is William Bendix, reminding you that our nation in peace has much to gain from the acquired skills of servicemen and women. Almost every single service-acquired skill is in some way related to civilian occupations. For example, an aerial gunner can qualify for civilian jobs of locksmith, meter repairman, testing machine operator, instrument repairman, and many others. So veterans and employers investigate the possibilities offered by service-acquired skills. Good night.
Procter & Gamble, makers of Teal, the amazing liquid dentifrice, invite you to be their guest next week to hear The Life of Riley with William Bendix as Riley. William Bendix appears by arrangement with Hal Roach. The Life of Riley is produced by Irving Brecker and is directed by Don Bernard. Music by Lou Kozlov. Tonight's cast included Paula Winslow, Scotty Beckett, Jerry Hausner, Ken Christie, Tommy Cook, and Jane Morgan. So until next week at the same time, this is Ken Carpenter saying goodnight for Teal. And remember, for laughs, it's R-I-L-E-Y, Riley. For lovely smiles, it's T-E-E-L, Teal. Teal, the amazing liquid dentifrice, protects teeth beautifully. Good night.
Here's a gal with a message, and only 30 seconds to get it across. Okay, let's go.
Well, I just want to say, these days, nice clothes are still scarce. If you're lucky to find blouses and slips and sweaters in your size and style, they've got to last. Well, if you'll give those nice things Ivory Flakes care, they'll stay lovely. Actually last up to twice as long.
Only 10 seconds left.
Well, that's all I need. Friends, the thing to remember is, with Ivory Flakes care, you'll get up to twice the wear.
Hey, you still got 2 seconds.
Then I'll say it again. With Ivory Flakes care, you'll get up to twice the wear.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
79 years ago, October 27th, 1945, The Life of Riley on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Visit our webpage, classicradio.stream, to support the podcast. You can be like some of the people and buy me a copy if you'd like. We appreciate all of them, including Honeywell and also Debbie. who have done that recently. And we also have some items there that if you'd like to support us, you can purchase those. You don't purchase anything you don't need, but it helps every little bit, don't you know? That's at classicradio.stream. And you can help us without spending a penny by sharing our podcast. You can do that through Facebook or Twitter. You can do it easily by boosting us and leaving us a review. That's anywhere your podcasts are served. So if you can do that, that would be greatly appreciated. We're going to go back to wartime, 80 years ago, October 27, 1944, for an episode of Amos and Andy.
In time of disaster, natural or nuclear, medical aid may not be available. That's why one member of each family should take a Red Cross first aid or home nursing course now.
Amos and Andy started out in the 20s as a continuing serial, a soap opera, if you will, and its nightly broadcasts were so popular that NBC ordered them not to be interrupted unless it was a national emergency. So the shows continued and went on very well. The show was delightful and went to NBC in 1935 from the NBC Blue Network. The show moved in 1943 from a quarter-hour daily dramatic show to a half-hour comedy and moved networks from CBS to NBC. And that really changed the nature of the show from a delightful, easy-going show, which also had some dramatic moments. Andy Brown got shot at one point in time on the show. But it moved to being more of a comedy show. But you brought back characters from time to time, and that's what happened in this episode of Amos and Andy from 80 years ago, October 27th, 1944. Madam Queen, who was engaged to Andy, and in fact, as I recall, that was part of where the shooting came from. But Madam Queen, well, let's listen to this episode.
Say, Andy, ain't you jealous of this fella Johnson that's seeing a lot of Madam Queen?
Oh, that fella Johnson and Madam Queen ain't nothing but a plutonic friendship.
Boy, you never worry about nothing, do you?
The makers of Rinso bring you the Amos and Andy Show. Well, tonight it looks as though Andy is about to be shanghaied for a rough voyage on the sea of matrimony. And now let's look in on the indirect cause of it. The girl Andy has been engaged to these 14 years, Madam Queen. At the moment, she is the object of the greatest compliment a man can pay a woman, a proposal of marriage, but not from Andy.
So you see, Madam Queen, not only am I in love with you, but if you marry me, I can give you everything a fine woman like you deserves.
Well, David, there's nothing I'd like better than going back to Cleveland with you as Mrs. David Johnson, except that, well, David, I guess there's still Andy Brown.
But don't you realize, Madam Queen, that after 14 years, Andy Brown is never going to marry you?
Maybe I'm foolish, but in 14 years, he ain't married nobody else. And I did promise him I'd wait until he made a success, and it's not fair to rush him.
Then according to that, if it wasn't for your promise to Andy Brown, you'd marry me, huh?
Yes, I'm sure I would. And David, aren't you listening?
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I was just thinking about a way to make me the happiest man in the world. Well, Mr. Stevens, have I made myself clear?
Yes, Mr. Johnson. You were suggesting that I should bust up the engagement of Madam Queen and Andy Brown. The best, the truest, the most loyal friend I ever had for $100.
Well, I didn't know you felt that way.
You couldn't make it 125, could you? Could you do that?
125?
Yeah. After all, you was asking me to tamper with emotions. Yeah. There's love involved here, friendship, happiness, and unhappiness. That's 4 emotions. And you asking me to sell out at the measly sum of $25 an emotion. That's what you're asking me.
Okay, very well. I'll pay the $125. But not 5 cents of it unless Madam Queen's on the train with me when I go back to Cleveland at the end of the week.
End of the week, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, now, there's only one way that's quick to disengage Andy from Madam Queen, and that's to engage him to some other gal.
Yeah, that would do it all right. But how can you get him engaged that fast?
Oh, don't worry. Where Cupid is concerned, Andy Brown is the only man who runs to meet the arrow halfway. Well, there you is, Henry. That's the whole proposition in a nutshell.
In other words, I get half of the $125 if we can get the other boys to help us get Andy married.
Yeah, but we don't want the other boys to know what we do. Wait a minute. I think I hear him coming down the hall now. Wait a minute.
Hello, gentlemen.
Well, hello there, Henry. Hello, Kingfish.
Sit down. Sit down.
Well, here we are. What did you want to see me about?
Yes, Brother Crawford. Go ahead, Kingfish. Tell him about it.
Fellas, the reason Henry and me has done asked you to get together with us is on account of our good friend Andy Brown.
Well, what is the problem?
Tell him, Kingfish.
Well, boys, I think it's up to us to see that Andy gets married.
Why? He's never done anything to us.
Well, now, Brother Crawford, where would you be if you wasn't happily married and had a loving wife to come home to every night? Oh, on second thought, maybe you better not answer that question right now. That's
Well, listen, fellas, I always felt that Andy ought to get married. I think it would do the boy a lot of good.
Yes, I seconds that motion very much. And I think we ought to take turns having Andy up to supper and have some charming lady there for him to meet.
I am beginning to like this idea. Tomorrow night, I'll have him up to meet my sister-in-law who is living with us.
Just a minute now, just a minute. I'll have Andy up first. After all, I've got a sister-in-law I'd like to get rid of. I'd like him to meet too.
Well, I think that I spoke first, Mr. Van Porter, and I would like to have Andy up to my place.
Well?
Wait a minute now, boy. Listen, I has done seen both of your sister-in-laws, and frankly, I think you're getting off on the wrong foot here.
Yeah, I don't know if either one of them gals would exactly appeal to Andy. Well, he likes them good looking. Gentlemen, I will admit that my sister-in-law is not the showy type. But I know that she would make a wonderful wife. Your objections to her, I am sure, are based on your first impressions.
Yes, I only seen her once.
I feel sure that after Andy has been around her a while, her face will lose much of its sting.
Now listen, boys, I tell you what we're going to...
Hello, gentlemen, hello. What you all doing hanging around here till night?
We just chewing the fat end, nothing reporting.
Yes, say, Andy, before I forget it, me and Mrs. Van Porter would like you to come up to supper tomorrow night.
And on Thursday night, Andy, Mrs. Crawford and I would like to have you come up for supper, too.
Has you fellas got something cooking?
What do you mean, Andy?
Well, it's just that I ain't been up to neither one of y'all's houses to supper in over a year. And now, within 1 minute, I gets invited to both of them. Kind of makes a fella suspicious.
Well, of course, Andy, if you would rather not come, it's...
Oh, no. After all, ain't no reason a man can't be suspicious and eat at the same time.
Henry, are you going to help me to set this dinner table or not?
Well, why can't your sister help you? After all, the whole thing is for her benefit.
She happens to be down at the store getting a red ribbon for her hair.
Well, at least that'll help cover up that bald spot she's got.
Now, listen here, Henry. I don't want you talking that way about my sister. Her hair's a little bit thin, but that's all. Now, you get out of that chair and help me. After all, I'm putting on this supper mostly for that no-good loafer friend of yours, Andy.
Don't kid me, Clara Van Porter. You was doing it only to marry off that sister of yours.
Is that so? Why, the way you talk, a person would think that Rosemarie was just standing around waiting for some man to marry her.
Well, I hope she ain't been standing, because it's been waiting for 19 years.
Let me tell you something, Henry Van Poter. I've heard just about enough from you.
Darling, what you doing with that vase there? Angel, honey, put that vase down. Sweetheart, darling, look out! Look out!
Well, Brother Andy, you sure is all dressed up there.
Yeah, I'm just about to leave for Henry Van Poter's house. You know, I'm going up there and have supper, meet some gal.
Yeah, well, always remember this, Brother Andy. The beauty of a gal is only skin deep. It's what's inside the gal, her soul, and her character that counts.
It is, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, just like a Christmas present. It don't matter if the thing is wrapped beautiful. It's the present on the inside that counts.
Yeah, well, all I know is that some of these gals I've been meeting is wrapped pretty bad.
Just remember what I tell you, Andy. And, by the way, it's too bad that Henry Van Poter got in his invitation for supper tonight first. Me and Sapphire wanted you for supper tonight, too, Andy, old pal.
Well, that sure is nice of you, Kingfish.
Yeah, we can't wait to have you over. Yeah, there's nothing that gives me and Sapphire more pleasure than to have an old pal like you sitting at supper with us. Excuse me, Andy, while I answer the telephone. Hello?
Hello, Kingfish. This is Henry Van Poter. Tell Andy not to come tonight. I done had a slight accident.
What you mean, Henry?
Well, my darling wife let me have it on the head with a vase full of forget-me-nots.
Yeah. On the head, huh? Them forget-me-nots is treacherous things, all right. All right, I'll tell him, Henry. Goodbye.
What's the matter, Kingfish?
Brother Henry Van Poter done had a slight accident, and he can't have you up for supper tonight.
Yeah, I hear you say something about his head. Did he have a fight with his wife?
Oh, no, Brother Andy. Married people never fight. No, they don't. You see, what happened to Henry was just the result of too much affection. His wife started to pat him on the head and didn't remember that she had a vase of forget-me-nots in her hand. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I guess a fellow's lucky to have a wife, huh?
Oh, yeah, and that reminds me I better be getting home to my sweet little wife, too.
Well, wait a minute, Kingfish.
What's the matter?
Well, now that I ain't going over to the Van Poters, ain't nothing to stop me from coming over to your house tonight for the supper that you couldn't wait to have me for.
I'm happy to hear that, Andy. Sapphire gonna be tickled pink, too, yeah. Oh, me.
You think you better call her up?
Yeah, I better do that. Yeah, that's really gonna be a nice surprise for Sapphire.
Yeah, she really is anxious to have me up, huh?
Oh, yeah, Andy.
Hello?
Sapphire, sugar pie, this is your ever-loving husband.
George, that don't sound like you.
Honey, I was here with Andy. Guess what I'm going to do, and in case it does, I want you to be calm now.
Come on and spill it, George. What you got to say?
This going to make you as happy as it did me, honey. I'm bringing our good friend Andy home for supper.
George, you step in the house with that bum, and I'll throw both of you out.
You happy to hear it, Kingfish?
Oh, yeah, Andy, yeah, she can't wait to see you, yeah. Tell me, honey, what is we having for supper?
If you bring that loafer home, there won't be no supper for neither one of you.
Oh, he is, huh? Just a minute, honey. And it looked like you caught us on a bad night. We're having cornmeal mush with spoiled gravy on it. That's what we're having. Yeah, you wouldn't like that, would you?
I was crazy about it.
Oh, yes. Now, wait a minute. Hello, honey.
Listen, George, it's bad enough you're hanging around with that Andy without having him up here for supper.
Yeah, just a minute, honey. Andy, she done burnt the mush. That's what she done.
Yeah, well, I tell you.
Wait a minute. All right, precious. We'll have Andy some other night. Goodbye, honey. Andy, that's a real disappointment. But Sapphire said that she ain't gonna give you no little chintzy meal when you come up to our house. Oh, no, Andy. She too crazy about you for that. Well, Well, boys, you know why we was gathered here? 3 days ago, we done decided that we was going to get Andy married.
Yes, and I think it's time we all reported on our progress.
Yeah, well, fellas, I ain't had much luck.
You ain't, huh, Amos?
No, I had Andy up to meet this gal, Mary Bowman, but he said that she was too heavy for him.
Oh, yeah, I talked to Andy. Andy said that she is the fattest gal he'd ever seen. He said that when she goes to answer the front door, part of her is still in the kitchen.
Well, tell us, Brother Crawford, what luck did you have?
Well, I've had no luck at all, because when Andy met my sister-in-law, she had one decided disadvantage.
What was that?
Her face was showing.
Oh?
Well, it looked like we're getting no place fast, fella.
Did you ever get Andy up to your house, Kingfish?
Yeah, I finally had him up there for supper, but when he was sitting next to the gal at the table, he decided that she was too lowbrow for him.
Why? What did she do?
Oh, he didn't like the way that she put her mouth down on an even keel with the plate and banked the peas in off the meatballs.
Well, there's nothing more that I can do about the thing.
Yeah, but Amos.
I am going to run along, boys, and leave you. Goodbye.
Just a minute now.
Well, I'll go along with you, Brother Crawford. So long, fella. So long, boy.
Kingfish, I hate to admit this, but we has done flopped in our efforts to get Andy married.
Wait a minute. Excuse me, Henry. George Kingfish Stevens talking. Oh, hello, Miss Johnson. Well, I know you're leaving for Cleveland tomorrow night. Well, now, just calm yourself. Oh, yeah, we getting results. What results? Yeah, well, we done got Andy married this afternoon.
Yes, well.
Yeah, to a woman, too. Yeah, I know you'd be happy to hear it, Miss Johnson. Oh, don't mention it. Oh, you will? All right, sir. Goodbye. Well, there you is, Henry. Everything is straightened out with Johnson. Oh, the man is really happy.
Yes, I'm sure he must be happy.
Very happy.
But what are you going to do if him and Madam Queen want to meet Andy's bride? What about that?
Oh, please, Henry, one thing at a time.
And now, back to Amos and Andy. Well, since Kingfish told David Johnson that Andy is now a married man, Johnson, delighted, has come to thank the boys for what they've done. We find them in Kingfish's office now.
Well, boys, so Andy Brown's actually married. I can't tell you how grateful I am.
Oh, yeah. Andy's married, all right, Miss Johnson. Happy as a log, ain't he, Henry?
Oh, yes. There's just a couple of lovebirds.
Yeah, they sure is, Miss Johnson.
Well, marriage is a wonderful thing, boys. And I expect my forthcoming marriage to Madam Queen to be an ideal one. Well, now, about the money.
Oh, yeah, the money slipped my mind completely, yeah.
Yes, we've been swept away by how noble this great thing is that we has done.
Yeah, clean forgot about the money. Clean forgot.
Yes, we did.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah. Well, go ahead, Miss Johnson. Remind us of it.
Well, yes. I was just going to say that there's just one more thing for you to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Madam Queen still has to be told that her engagement to Andy Brown's been broken.
Well, we was kind of expecting you to take care of that.
Oh, no. See, since I was responsible for getting him married, it would be better if I stayed completely in the background. And if you want your money tonight, you'll get started over there right now.
Feats, you hear the gentlemen. Don't stand still.
Well, Madam Queen, as the Kingfish just told you, that's the story.
Oh, I can't believe it. I can't believe Andy would get married without telling me. Boys, where is he now? I got to see Andy.
Oh, you got to see him. Well, I don't think it'll do no good. You see, Andy won't admit to nobody that he's married to this other gal. They're keeping it a secret, ain't they, Henry?
Oh, they is?
Yeah, certainly they is. Yeah, explain it to Madam Queen.
Oh, yes. Well, it seems that the new Mrs. Brown's papa don't approve of Andy, and the happy couple is keeping it secret like those three monkeys. Don't hear nothing, don't say nothing, don't know nothing.
Yeah, that's right. And there's the monkey on the end.
Yes.
You see all that?
But I've got to see Andy. It's just that I got to know for sure. I got to know.
Yeah, well, I tell you, Madam Queen, I don't know where the happy bridegroom is at the minute. He may be sitting on his hope chest, counting his trousseau, or even unpacking his nuptials. I don't know what to do.
Well, if Andy can't face me himself, then I'm going to see his bride. I'm not leaving for Cleveland unless I've seen one of them.
If you can't see Andy, then you got to see his bride. Well, I tell you what, Madam Queen, you be over at my office at 5 o'clock, and we'll have one or the other of them there.
Kingfish, why did you say that to Madam Queen? Andy ain't going to say he's married, and we certainly can't show her his wife.
That's where you're wrong, Henry, because we is going to send Andy on an errand that will keep him away from my office for the rest of the afternoon.
Yes, and then what?
Then I goes over to Shorty's barber shop, the one next to Andy's office, and see that if he know any manicurists that used to work for him that we can introduce as Andy's new wife. Well, Shorty, the best barber in town. Glad I found you here alone.
Yeah, I'll be doggone. That's my old friend, the Kingfish.
Yeah, well, what you gonna do, Shorty? What is you doing there? Getting ready to shave yourself?
No, not me, Kingfish. No, I wouldn't take a chance on myself. No.
Look, Shorty, I is on the spot here. You has had a lot of good-looking manicurists working for you here in the past, ain't you?
Oh, yeah, Kingfish. I had a lot of good-looking ones. There must have been 6 good well, there was one that was fat.
Yeah, well, I tell you what I want to do, Shorty. If you can get a hold of this gal, I'll pay her $3 to be Andy Brown's wife.
Yeah, well, I think I could...
Let me explain the thing to you, Shorty. You see, me and Henry Van Porter is doing a noble thing, and part of it is to give Madam Queen the imprint that Andy Brown is married. So we want this manicurist to play the part of Andy Brown's wife for just 1 hour.
Yeah, it's $3 to be a wife. That's good. Andy need a brother.
No, Shorty, no. We is only in the wife market at the moment.
Sorry to hear that, Kingfish. I sure could use the money.
Now, look here. This manicurist, you said it was fair. Does you know where you can get in touch with her for me?
Oh, yeah. I'll call her up right now.
Oh, good. You know her phone number?
Oh, sure. It's Lehigh 47, Plaza 3, Academy, Rhineland. She ain't got no phone.
Well, now, look here, Shorty. If she ain't got no phone, how is you going to get her, Shorty?
Well, I'll go out and get her right now. You see, I'll get my coat and I'll just grab a taxi, a subway, and I'll get her. She lives upstairs.
Well, now that you is here, miss, you understand what you're supposed to do?
Why, certainly. I'm to say that I'm Mrs. Andrew Brown. But before that other woman gets here, I'd like to have my $3. And I'd like to know what my husband's supposed to look like.
Yeah, well, we got the $3, and Henry, show the young lady that picture we got of Andy.
Oh, yes. Here you is, miss.
Oh, well, that'll have to be $5.
Yeah, what's the matter?
Why, he's a mess. Look at his big ears.
Hey, wait a minute. Them is his flat feet. You got the picture upside down.
Kingfish, here comes Madam Queen.
Well. Come in, Madam Queen, and meet the happiest girl in the world and his wife, Mrs. Brown.
How do you do, Madam Queen?
That is the truth, all right. You and Andy did get married?
Oh, yes, it's true, Madam Queen.
Yeah, well, there you is, Madam Queen. Now, don't you think you better get on home, start packing for your trip to Cleveland with David Johnson?
Yes, Kingfish, that's just what I'm going to do. Well, Mrs. Brown, I wish you both all the happiness in the world.
Kingfish, I was back.
What you doing back so soon?
Well, Amos done driven me both ways in his cab. Oh, hello there, Madam Queen. Hello, Henry.
Ain't you going to at least say hello to Mrs. Brown?
Brown, huh? Small world, ain't it?
Madam Queen, you done seen enough. Now, why don't you let Henry take you home? Go on, Henry, take her home.
Wait a minute now, fellas. Wait, don't rush her, because if Madam Queen ain't busy tonight, why, I'd like to take her out stepping.
Why, the very idea. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, Andy Brown. Married to this girl only one day and asking another woman to go out with you.
What is that? Married? Who's married?
So long, folks.
You stay here, Kingfish.
I'll stay in.
I want to ask you one question, Andy.
Yeah, go ahead.
Andy, are you or ain't you married to this girl here?
Married? Why, I just met her this second.
George Kingfish Stevens?
Oh, that's my full name, yeah.
So this is one of your tricks again. I don't know what's behind it, but I'm not going to Cleveland tonight. Goodbye.
Now, just a minute, Madam Queen. Hold on there. We can explain the...
Listen, Kingfish, will you please explain to me what this is all about?
Yeah, and I will explain everything to you. And not only that, Andy, I was also going to explain to you what you has got to do if you cares anything about this gal, Madam Queen. Now, you has got to go over to Madam Queen's beauty shop and explain to her that you is no good and that you is a bum.
Kingfish, I think that was a great idea of yours, telling Andy that the noble thing for him to do was not to stand in the way of Madam Queen marrying a successful man like David Johnson.
Yeah, Henry, I tell you what, I thought the whole thing over. We tried to do everything we could, and the only thing we could do was to get Andy to do it. Mm-hmm. And when Andy convinces Madam Queen what a bum he really is, that ought to turn the trick.
Yes, that sure ought to do it. I wish the boy would get back, though. You know, he's been over there for her now for more than an hour.
Yeah, well, when a man's a bigger bum as Andy is, an hour don't even scratch the surface, you know.
Yes, it's quite... Wait a minute. Here's the boy now.
Yeah, well...
Hello there, fellas. Hello there.
Andy, my boy, glad to see you back here. You know, we've been waiting, just sitting here. Tell me this, how did you do?
Oh, say, I done told her what you told me to, fellas.
Oh, that's great, Andy, and I tell you what, you done the right thing.
Yeah, I done convinced her that I is a bum.
Oh, that's great, Andy, great. I want to thank you for that. You convinced Madam Queen that she ought to marry Johnson, didn't you?
Oh, sure. That's exactly what I done.
And you really done what we call the noble thing.
Yeah, well, I really done told her what a no-good fella I is, and that I ain't never going to make no success. So she say, all right, she'll marry David Johnson.
Oh, Andy, put it there, will you? Just shake hands on that thing. Andy, that was great. She going to marry Johnson. Yeah. Andy, that's certainly great. When is he getting married?
Well, I don't exactly know. You see, she made one little condition.
What's the condition, Andy?
Before she married David Johnson, she given me another 5 years to make a success.
Well, folks, thank you for listening tonight.
Yes, sir, and we hope you'll be with us next Friday night at this same hour. By the way, what's happening next week, Amos?
Well, I think the Kingfish's wife is going out of town and leaving the Kingfish alone in the big city.
Knowing the Kingfish like I do, the little woman is making a big mistake.
And Andy, ain't nobody ever been in the trouble that the Kingfish is going to get in. Good night, folks.
So long, everybody.
Be sure to be with us again next Friday night at this same time when the makers of Rinso again present the Amos and Andy Show. This program is broadcast to our armed forces everywhere. This is Harlow Wilcox saying good night to you for all of us.
As you can tell, the show maintained its humor while continuing that storyline of the long-running relationship between Andy Brown and Madam Queen. And some people like to complain about us airing these Amos and Andy shows. And we have said this many times, but I think it bears repeating. Anybody who has emailed us, we have mentioned this, and this has been their reply to the complaints. Thank you for your comment about classic radio theater. As you may be aware, our program is not just about sanitized history, but news and radio as it truly took place in the media of the day. To sanitize the programs of the time is to literally change history, which is something that we as Americans cannot do. As the late philosopher George Santayana said in The Life of Reason, The Phases of Human Progress, back in 1905 so eloquently, progress, far from consisting in change, depends upon retentiveness. When change is absolute, there remains no being to improve, and no direction is set for possible improvement. And when experience is not retained, as among savages, infancy is perpetual. Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. That's very, very true, and I still believe that to this day. That is why we bring you news directly from the newspapers of the day on those days that we do those features. Okay, Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox will wrap up today's episode. As we remind you tomorrow, Westerns, Fort Laramie, Gunsmoke, also crime classics and suspense. And up next, Superman.
Should public utilities fail in time of disaster, refrigerated foods must be either cooked or eaten before they spoil. If this can't be done,
be prepared, and that's very important. Get that family fallout shelter booklet, which serves more as a fallout than a fallout shelter. If there is some other crisis that comes up in our country, which is entirely possible, wouldn't hurt to have that sort of thing at hand. You can find that in the description of the podcast. The link is there for that information. Now, an episode of Superman as we move from one adventure to another, the Crooked Oil Adventure Association, 83 years ago, October 27th, 1941.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, bend steel in his bare hand, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice.
And now to our story. When Jimmy Olsen mounted his pony Soldier and started for the Comanche Indian Reservation to get help, Chuck Connors, one of Abner Cheney's henchmen, rode after him. A mile from the reservation, the pony stepped into a gopher hole. Jimmy was thrown on his injured shoulder and fainted. Connors, riding up, drew a bead on the unconscious figure with his rifle and pulled the trigger. Suddenly, there was a burst of wind, and Superman, returning from the reservation, winged out of the sky and turned the bullet aside an instant before it reached its mark. From Jimmy, Kent learned that Tumbleweed was in trouble. Sending Jimmy back to the ranch on Chuck Connors' horse, Kent, again making use of his amazing powers of flight, lifted Connors in his arms and started for the town of Lost Valley. Listen.
Tumbleweed in trouble. What can that mean? I'd never forgive myself if anything should happen to him. And I'll find out soon enough. Faster! Faster!
But even as Superman streaks for the tiny cluster of lights that mark the booming oil town, 3 horses are moving slowly across the dark mesa. One of them, a tired, broken-down mare, carries the corpse of Dan Lawson and the bound figure of Tumbleweed Jones. The others are ridden by Abner Cheney and his light-fingered gunman, Lacey. Approaching the rock-strewn bed of a dry stream, Cheney draws rein.
Oh, boy. Hold up a minute, Lacey. Oh, boy. No use my trailing along any further, Lacey.
I'll ride back into town. The pit's just up ahead. You know what to do.
I'd kind of like company.
Company? What for?
Well, reckon he figures dumping a feller in a quicksand pit's lonesome work. Ain't that it, Lacey?
Quiet or I'll cut this whip across your mouth.
Not if my hands wasn't tied, Mr. Cheney. No, sir.
Get going, Lacey. I'll meet you back in town. Get up.
Well, it looks like he kind of pulled stakes on us, don't it, Lacey? Figure he got cold feet?
I ain't paid to do no figuring.
I reckon not. Killing's your specialty, ain't it? From what I hear, you got an awful easy trigger finger. It'll string you up one of these days.
You're trying to get me rattled, Tumbleweed. You're showing the wrong plug. Come on, I ain't got time for no palaver.
Your pa was a right decent hombre, Lacey. I reckon it'd kind of trouble him if he knew how his boy's carrying on. Funny how some folks will shy clear of the straight and narrow, preferring to take a twisted trail. When as any hombre knows who ain't lacking a brain, the straight and narrow is the short way. That's on the books, right down in black and white. You ever come across it, Lacey?
No, and I ain't aiming to, neither.
Whoa, up there. Well, I reckon this is as far as we go. That's the old quicksand pit up ahead, ain't it, Lacey?
You got eyes in your head.
Yeah, but I can't hardly believe him.
What are you talking about?
It ain't old Bill Kendrick's boy Lacey a-riding with me. If it was, he wouldn't be sitting where he is now, fixing to take another hombre's life.
That kind of talk don't mean nothing to me. I'm getting paid to do a job. Gonna get done, talk or no talk. Get around there, you flea-bitten bug.
Hold on a minute, Lacey. You gotta give me a chance to pray.
When is praying something you do regular?
Getting dropped into quicksand pits ain't exactly regular, Lacey. I figure it calls for something special.
All right, go ahead, but make it fast.
Take my hat off, Lacey, if you don't mind. Much obliged. Now, let's see. I reckon there ain't no need of praying for myself.
That's what I figured.
Hold on, Lacey. I ain't through.
Well, get going.
Well, now, let's see. Mr. Lord, I'm a-setting out here on a spavin' old mare, getting ready to pull stakes for good. Lacey Kendrick's sitting here with me. I reckon he ain't feeling so chipper. I reckon he'd leave get his hands washed to this business. Now, I don't want you to be too hard on Lacey, Mr. Lord. His pa and me was good friends. And many's the time we busted steers out of the same herd.
In still, unbroken quiet of the maze of darkness, Tumbleweed offers up a homely prayer for Lacey Kendrick. A prayer that asks forgiveness in the face of death. Meanwhile, back at Lost Valley, Superman has searched every cell in the small-town jail without finding a trace of Tumbleweed. Frantically, he tries to awaken Chuck Connors from his state of unconsciousness.
Connors. Wake up, Connors. I must have hit him harder than I intended to. He's been out for 20 minutes. Connors! Up on your feet. Come on. Now open your eyes.
What?
Connors, where's Tumbleweed? Connors, stand up. Where's Tumbleweed?
What business is it of yours?
What? Cheney.
I don't think we've met before. I don't seem to recall that fancy dress costume.
We've met, Cheney, under slightly different circumstances. May I suggest that you get rid of that gun in your hand? It's about as much use to you as a matchstick.
Pretty sure of yourself, aren't you? Who are you? What are you doing here?
I'll ask the questions. Where's Tumbleweed Jones?
How should I know?
I'll give you 5 seconds to remember.
Don't make me laugh.
Your time is up.
Stand back, you fool.
Or you'll what, Mr. Cheney?
Killing me. Breaking my back.
Where's Tumbleweed?
I don't know. Oh.
You'd better talk, Cheney. Your back isn't made of rubber. It's going to snap soon.
All right, I'll talk. Stop.
Go ahead.
You're too late. He fell into a quicksand pit.
Where? Where, I said?
No, don't. Behind Buzzard's nose.
Maybe you think I'm too late, but you might be surprised. Come on. You and this specimen on the floor are going into a cell until I get back. There. In you go. That should hold you. Too late, am I? No, I can't be. The quicksand pit. Behind Buzzard's knoll. Up! Up! And away!
Oh, please tell me how Superman pulled you out of the quicksand pit, Tumbleweed.
Shucks, Jim. I told you 6 times if I told you once.
Oh, I know, but I like to hear about it.
Jimmy, enough is enough.
Well, once more, and that's quit. All right, Jim?
Okay.
Well, I was a-sitting there, praying a mite for Lacey, when all of a sudden, something hit him like a bolt out of the sky. Horse reared up, but his whip come down hard on the rump of the mare I was roped to, almost like he had to get it over with. Well, the mare bolted and headed for the pit. I tried to knee her over, but she kept on a-going. Right into the pit. All I could feel was that quicksand sucking down over me. I figured it was the end. When sudden like something grabbed a hold of me and lifted me and the mare clean out of that muck.
It was Superman.
Yep.
Oh, gosh. Someday I'd like to know who he really is and how he happens to be so strong.
Well, maybe someday you will, Jimmy.
Whoa, Nancy, whoa. Well, here's my archery range. You can let the horses graze free while I give you a lesson in how to draw a bow.
I can't shoot with this bad shoulder.
Well, you can pick up the rudiments, Jim. Now, that there first target is set at 30 yards. Now watch while I hit that bullseye, plumb in the middle.
Wait.
Beating you, Jim?
Look, 2 riders coming this way. Isn't one of them Chuck Connors? Gosh, he'll...
Settle down, Jim.
But Tumbleweed, Jimmy's right. It's Connors and Lacey.
Well, sure is. Hiya, Chuck. Hi, Lacey.
We're heading to the ranch, Tumbleweed. Sure is powerful decent of you to fix things.
We ain't never going to forget it, Tumbleweed. Get along now, both of you. Wasting time and my money. Yes.
Easy, you.
What's the meaning of this, Tumbleweed?
Meaning?
Yes, meaning. Where are they going?
Back to work on the ranch. You see, I figured Abner Cheney got 'em kind of twisted. They're good boys, both on 'em, so now that Cheney's put away, I figure there ain't no use trampling on Chuck and Lacey. So I up and hired 'em. Of course, I had to guarantee the sheriff they ain't going to get into no more mischief. Well, now, watch me shoot this arrow.
Bullseye.
Mind fetching that arrow, Mr. Kent?
No, not at all.
And now, look here, Jim. See this big bow?
Uh-huh.
Fella made it up back home a few years ago. And no man's ever been able to draw it. We're going to give it to Mr. Kent for a joke. What do you say?
Oh, sure. Here he comes.
That was a bullseye, all right.
Why, much obliged. Now it's your turn, Mr. Kent.
Oh.
Yeah, try this bow. It's more your size.
All right. Now, what do I do? Well, what are you giggling about, young man?
Oh, nothing.
Here you are, Mr. Kent. Now, knock your arrow.
Yeah. What?
Oh, that means fit your arrow to the string.
Oh.
Set your legs this way and draw.
Okay, I'll try. Will you stop giggling?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Mr. Kent. Draw.
Okay.
Gosh, he's bending it.
Shooting for a coyote. Go ahead, Mr. Kent. Let her fly. Missed the target, but not by much.
I'll get the arrow.
Well, Jim and me tried to pull a joke on you, Mr. Kent. No man's ever been able to draw that there bow. You got a powerful arm.
Mr. Kent, Tumbleweed.
What is it, Jimmy?
Come here, hurry.
Now, what do you suppose is ailing him now?
Oh, probably nothing.
Look what I found.
What is it?
A hand-beaten silver arrow.
The arrow you shot landed in this gopher hole, Mr. Kent. And when I stuck my hand in to get it, I found that.
There's a date on it and some writing.
Let me see. 1855.
What's the writing, Mr. Kent?
Hard to make out. I shot this arrow into the air. 'Twill fall to earth I know not where.
Oh, that's taken from a poem, isn't it?
Yes, one of Henry Wadsworth Longfellow's poems.
Nothing else on it?
Yeah, there are 2 more lines. Now, wait, let's see. If he who finds this has no fear, he'll search the stream neath the galloping steer.
Well, it looks like Jimmy has stumbled on something very interesting. To whom does the silver arrow belong? And what is the meaning of the mysterious verse engraved on it? You can be sure Clark Kent, Jimmy, and Tumbleweed are going to make every effort to find out. So don't miss a single thrilling episode. Tune in and follow the story with Superman.
Don't forget, tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
And we begin a new adventure. That'll be coming up on Tuesday's show with Superman, right here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Tomorrow, we'll have Westerns and crime with Fort Laramie, Gunsmoke, Crime Classics, Suspense, and Claudia. Thanks, and have yourself a great Sunday and a great week ahead. The Classic Radio Theater back tomorrow. I'm Wyatt Cox.